Welcome to the Highly Effective Man podcast, hosted by former Navy SEAL turned life and fitness coach. I'm your host, JP Bolwan. This podcast is your resource for unlocking the healthiest, most productive, and highly effective man within you. Let's go. What's up, guys? Welcome back to the Highly Effective Man podcast, where we help busy men optimize their mindset, fitness, and nutrition to help reach their highest potential. I'm your host, JP Bolwan, a 13-year Navy SEAL veteran, former college football player, firefighter, and life and fitness coach. Now, I've been through setbacks in possibly every phase of life, from the SEAL teams to the football field, rugby field, even from recovering from injuries on the jiu-jitsu mats. Okay, so today I want to talk to you guys about one thing that we're all going to face eventually, and that's setbacks. Now, whether it's an injury that keeps you out of the gym, or a goal that you missed, or something in life that throws you off course, setbacks are a part of the journey. Okay, so what's the key? The key is knowing how to bounce back stronger. So if you've ever found yourself stuck, frustrated, or wondering how you're going to get back on track, this episode's for you. Now, setbacks are going to happen, okay? But they don't define who you are, all right? I don't care what's going on in your life or who you think you are, or, whatever you're doing. If you're pursuing something that's meaningful, you're going to hit obstacles. You're going to have a setback. That's just how it is. But here's the deal. Setbacks don't define you. What defines you is how you respond to them. Okay, so when I was in the SEAL teams, right, there was plenty of times when we would get thrown off plan. I'd say probably 80-90% of the time, the plan doesn't go exactly how you wanted, right? But that could be because of unexpected intel or bad intel. It could be because there's equipment failures or even injuries, right? But quitting was never an option, all right? We adapted, we adjusted, and we kept moving forward. And you've got to adopt the same mentality, whether it's a missed goal in the gym, maybe it's an injury, or a busy period in your life where fitness and nutrition took a back seat. That's okay. Remember, you're not out of the fight. This is just a new challenge to overcome. We want to change our mindset around setbacks. Okay, the first step to bouncing back is changing how you think about those setbacks. Too many times, people look at their missed goal or their injury and they get discouraged, thinking, maybe I'm not good enough, or maybe this isn't for me. That's the wrong mindset to have. Okay, a setback is not a failure. It's a learning opportunity. And when you miss a goal, don't beat yourself up. Just analyze it, okay? Think about it. What went wrong? Okay, did I underestimate the time and effort needed? Did life get in the way? Did you overtrain, and is that why you got injured? Look at the facts, not the emotions, okay? Once you have the facts, you can then make a plan to move forward. Personally, after football and rugby, I faced injuries that sidelined me more than once, talking about, concussions, surgeries like ACL surgeries or knee surgeries, but each time I had two choices. I could either feel sorry for myself or I can adjust my approach. In the long run, those setbacks, they taught me more about my body and mindset than any win ever could. So ask yourself, what can I learn from this? All right? Thinking about it as maybe a lesson that I can learn, all right? That's the mindset shift that separates highly effective men from everyone else. Now let's talk about how we bounce back from specific setbacks, right? We'll talk about injuries, and then we'll also talk about maybe missing goals, all right? But let's start with injuries, because this is a big one, especially for us older gentlemen. All right. Our bodies aren't as resilient as they were in our 20s. And, you know, injuries take longer to heal. That's just a fact. Okay. But that doesn't mean you're done. It just means that we need to be smarter about how we recover and how we come back. And here's what I recommend. Follow the process. When you're injured, don't rush back too soon. Okay? Trust me. I know the temptation to push through pain, but doing that is only going to make things worse. I have countless stories of where I was like being stubborn and trying to push through the pain or coming back too early, and it just set me back further. Okay? This is one of those lessons learned the hard way for me. But follow the process with your doctor, your therapist, or whatever your trainer gives you. Think about it long term. You want to heal fully so that you can come back stronger, not crippled by re-injury. Another thing you want to do is you want to stay active. Even if you can't train the way you used to, find ways to stay active. If you've injured your shoulder, focus on lower body training. If you've injured your knee, work on upper body strength and mobility. Or just keep range of motion where it's pain-free. Movement is medicine. And staying active helps your body heal faster, and it keeps your mindset sharp. Okay? I'm dealing with this right now. Like, I hurt my knee this past weekend. I was doing free fall, and on my first jump, I hit the ground a little harder than I expected. Okay? I felt a little pop, and I was like, oh no, that's not good. Well, I'm also in the middle of this September He-Man Challenge, right? The Highly Effective Man Challenge. And if you've been following this podcast or following me on Instagram, you know that I've got this challenge going where you're doing 5 pull-ups, 10 push-ups, 15 air squats. And, that's one round. And this particular week, we're doing 15 rounds, every day. Well, I have a hurt knee, and it hurts if I bend my knee more than 90 degrees or, I can't go into a deep squat. So I've had to adjust my range of motion. I'm still doing the rounds as prescribed, right? As, 15 rounds. But I've had to adjust how deep I go on the squat, okay? And that's just the fact, okay? But I'm staying active. And because I'm staying active, my body's going to heal faster. And I'm not going to feel sorry for myself because I didn't do the challenge, right? I could just be like, oh, I'm hurt. I can't do this. No, that's not what us highly effective men do. We do what we can. We figure out ways to do what we can so that we can keep moving forward. All right. Reframe your goals. Okay. So during recovery, your primary goal shifts from performance to healing. Embrace that. Okay. Your wins during this time might not be hitting PRs or running fast times, but things like, oh, I have improved mobility, or, oh, wow, my knee doesn't hurt anymore, right? Reduced pain, or strength gains in uninjured areas, right? Progress is progress. And let's not forget about mental toughness. Injuries, they're not just physical, right? They mess with your head. You might feel like you're losing ground, but remember, you're just temporarily sidelined, okay? Keep your mind focused on what you can do and stay positive. This is where mental toughness comes in. You can't let the injury define you. You got to use it as fuel for your comeback, right? Think, I'm going to come back better and stronger than before, right? If, getting injured sometimes makes you focus on other things that maybe was a weakness before that you can turn into a strength. And now when your injury or whatever it is better, you're just more of a complete person. Okay? Think about it like that. Now, let's talk about missed goals, right? We just talked about injuries. Let's talk about missed goals. Maybe you had a goal to, lose 10 pounds and you only lost 5. Or maybe you wanted to hit a new strength benchmark and you fell short. It's easy to get discouraged and feel like you're not making progress. But here's the thing. Success is not linear. It's not a straight line. There's ups and there's downs. There's setbacks, there's detours, there's obstacles that always show up on your journey. Here's how you handle those missed goals. Reassess the goal. Sometimes your goal needs adjusting. If you aim to lose 10 pounds in a month and you only lost 5, was your timeline realistic? I mean, 10 pounds is a lot in a month, and I always suggest, less than that when I'm working with my clients. But think about it. Was my timeline realistic? Look at your goal objectively. Break it down into smaller, more achievable steps. Maybe losing 5 pounds per month is more sustainable, and over time, that consistency will get you better results. Refocus on your why. Why did I set that goal in the first place, right? Was it to feel healthier, get stronger, improve confidence? When you miss a goal, reconnect with your why. Your purpose is bigger than any one missed benchmark, okay? Refocusing on the deeper motivation, that's what's going to keep you going. I can't tell you how many times I've been working with a client and, they say they want to weigh a certain number, right? Well, if I just left it at that, the success rate would plummet, okay? One of the things that we have to focus on is why is that number important to you? Okay? Well, maybe I can, walk up the steps easier. Maybe I can do more things, and thinking about those types of things like, okay, so what can you do at that weight that you can't do now? How would that change your life, right? Thinking about those things. And then also thinking about how would that make you feel, and getting emotional and thinking about, okay, what does that number represent as opposed to just the number itself, okay? Think about the why and get back on that why if you missed a goal. Maybe you lost sight of it, whatever it is, okay? Another thing we can do is just pivot, right? We don't quit, but we pivot. Just because you missed a goal doesn't mean you're done. Too many times, people miss a target and then they just quit. They're like, oh, I didn't hit it. Well, okay, I'm done. That's not how highly effective men operate. We adapt and we pivot. Maybe you missed a goal in the gym. So what? Okay, adjust your plan, tweak your nutrition, find a new strategy, and get back on track. Keep moving forward. All right. When I first started cutting down for this jiu-jitsu competition that I went to, I said, okay, I'm going to do carnivore diet for 30 days and, see how it goes. Cool. I had friends that, had done it. They had some great success. They felt great on it. And I was like, all right, cool. I'm going to try it. So, a few days into the carnivore diet, I'm like, I'm feeling pretty good. I'm eating the stuff that I like to eat, actually more of it. And I'm not hungry. My cravings start to subside. And then, 10 days into it, or maybe about 7 days into it, I started getting like heart palpitations. And my heart rate would stay high after training. And one of the main reasons is that, you have to really make sure you're on top of your hydration. But then you also have to make sure you're getting your electrolytes in. Okay, so I think I wasn't getting my electrolytes in the way I should be. And either way, I was not feeling good on the carnivore diet just as is. So what I did was I added in fruit and honey, and then I guess this makes it the animal-based diet now, which is what they call it, right? So you're eating carnivore, but then you're still adding in fruit and honey. I added that in, and I felt 100 times better. And I was able to continue on for the rest of the 30 days, just eating meat, fruit, and honey. Perfect. Awesome. Okay. I had a setback. It wasn't going the way I planned. So then I pivoted. All right. But I didn't quit. Okay. Another thing you can do is just make sure you celebrate the small wins, right? When you're in the middle of a setback or an obstacle, it's easy to overlook the progress that you have made. right? Maybe you didn't hit that strength goal, but did your form improve? Did you show up consistently? Did you gain better mobility? Celebrate the small wins because they're part of the bigger picture, right? If I lost 30 pounds, but I only made it to 28, or if I wanted to lose 30 pounds and I only made it to 28, is that a failure? Hell no, right? That's still success. I've made it 28 pounds less than what I was before, right? Celebrate that. Even if it was 5 pounds, celebrate it, okay? We're talking about when we have these setbacks, we're building resilience for future obstacles, for future setbacks. They're going to happen, right? We talked about it. It's going to happen. But how you handle them is what builds your resilience for the future. Every time you bounce back from a missed goal or injury, you get stronger. Not just physically, but more importantly, mentally. You build the confidence, and no matter what life throws at you, you've got the tools to overcome it. Here's the key: preparation and consistency. If you've got the right systems in place, like a solid workout plan, a balanced nutrition strategy, and the mental tools to handle adversity, you'll be ready for whatever life throws at you. Okay? And if you need any help with that, join the Highly Effective Man community. I'll leave the link in the show notes below. But, that's what that community's for, right? We talk about nutrition, we talk about working out, and we have challenges to build mental toughness. You name it, okay? But in the teams, we trained for worst case scenarios so that when things went sideways, we knew exactly how to respond, okay? Like I said earlier, I went jumping, I did free fall, okay? And one of the things that we do in free fall, or before we do, or if we have like a block of training for free fall, is you have briefs and you have like, okay, all the safety stuff and you talk about it, right? But one of the most important parts of that brief is talking about all the things that can go wrong. And part of that, you're like, oh my gosh, all these things that can go wrong. And you're like, I'm about to like risk my life. But the point is that we go through all the different things that can go wrong when your parachute opens, right? We call them malfunctions, right? You could have the bag that holds your parachute, it stays locked up once you pull it. You can have what they call a horseshoe, where part of the parachute and lines get wrapped around other parts of your body. You can have broken lines. You can have holes in your parachute. You can get flipped on your back, all these different things, right? And, training for worst case scenarios and knowing how to respond when those things happen, that's important, right? That's the preparation. And then consistently thinking about, okay, how can I prepare better? What if this happens? What if this happens? Okay, you've got to apply the same principle to your health and fitness. All right, you train for setbacks and you expect them. Okay, if I'm trying to lose weight, a major setback can be maybe there's a bunch of barbecues or events that I didn't plan for, right? Well, think ahead. What's that unexpected event going to look like? How am I going to respond when somebody offers me alcohol or, cake or, and I didn't plan for it, right? If you think about it ahead, it's much easier to make the decision when that happens as opposed to right there in the moment. Because if you expect them and they come, you'll be ready to face it head on. All right, guys, that's it for today. Setbacks are a part of the journey, but they don't define you. Okay, whether it's an injury or a missed goal, the key is how you bounce back. We have to reassess, reframe, and just get back to work. Okay, success is never about failing. Okay, it's about getting back up every single time. And if this episode resonated with you, share it with someone who might need it. And remember, setbacks don't end your journey. They're just a part of it. Okay? Expect them, learn from them. Okay? Stay disciplined, stay focused, and keep pushing forward. Thanks for tuning in to the Highly Effective Man podcast. Until next time, stay strong and keep fighting. Let's go. Thank you for listening to the Highly Effective Man podcast. If you enjoyed or learned something on this episode, do me a favor and share this with somebody who you think needs to hear it. And one last thing, if you want to work with me as your coach to help you get fit, be more productive, and in general, just be the most effective version of yourself, head over to my site, higherlevelcoaching.co. Once again, that's higherlevelcoaching.co, and schedule a call with me there. Thank you again. Let's go.